Hi, this is an introduction to the myDataSetManager that I wrote in order to assist me in managing the datasets within the Elevate Web Builder application. As you may know, all of the datasets are managed in one area at this point in time. So if you have several projects, all of the datasets are there. I created this application in order to assist me in managing that process a bit better. So what I would do as I'm working is I would load in the related data sets into the application when I do need it. So this is basically a quick overview of how this application works. As you can see, currently I have no data sets loaded in the dataset manager for the project. You need to specify exactly where the IDE, EWB IDE INI file is located, and the same for the EWB server INI file. You can load and work with and manage the data sets that are located in that area. So for example, what I just showed you, there are no data sets in here currently. So when I attempt to load it, nothing would be showing up in this area here. If I come and I load from the data sets that are in the web server, I do have some loaded there at this point in time. So I'm just going to close off everything here. So what I would do now is I would just pull up, say this is a project that I have here. I would go and I will add them into it. And then by selecting what I do need to save, you would notice that these buttons come activated accordingly. So say I wanted to save all of these to the IDE file. I would select all. So it's only what is selected is worked on. And I'll say save to the INI there. You get a notification at the bottom, and that's it. It has been saved into there. So you would then need, of course, to restart Elevate Web Builder. And now, when it is restarted, as you can see, the data sets are actually loaded up and in there right now. So that would, that does really save me a lot of time and assist me in managing my projects. The same works just simply by, say I wanted to save these data sets into the web server. What I would then do is select this tab and do the same. Now the added benefit with both of them is that, say I wanted to just make a save, I can actually clear what already exists and write in only what I've selected, or I can just simply say no, that it would also replace as well as add on any additional data sets that I would create. So I would show now how I would create an additional data set. What I would do is just basically, I can create a template right here. So I will say, let me show you this first. I'll select from the drop down, and basically it just loads a basic template for me that I can use to start as a starter. So I say I want to elevate WB. Say I give it a name 1, 2, 3, and you can see it creates a template for me to work with one time, a basic layout. So I would select, and then for this example I will save. Just to run through it quickly, of course you will then go in and make the necessary changes within it, but for now just create it, save it here. So it's saved. I'll come out again, of course. I'll reopen it, and there you go. I have it saved, Elevate DB with the name, and then of course anything that I didn't fill out I can fill out here. All right, well of course it's not filled out at this time, so anything that I want I'll fill out there. So you saw that. So that is how to add. Of course the same applies to removing it. Now removing is a little different in that it removes it directly from the INI file. So what I would do is know that anything that I remove would be immediately removed without the need for me to come back and save. So I'll just remove what I just added. And again, it works on what is checked off here. So you can see how, you can manage both the IDE and the web server. If you wanted to create a new data set, say for example, I had only these two apply to a particular project, I would create a new data set, a new myDataSet file, which basically creates a new INI file within the subdirectory that I've created. And I will say I give it the number 9, and I save it. So there it is. Just these two would be saved into this, say, project 9 file. And here you go. So only those two were saved in that file. And then I could then pull this in as its own, of course. An important area for me, let me see if there's anything else there. I showed you how to delete. Okay, well, pretty straightforward. An important area for me, and actually what drove me to doing this, is that I had a need to update from my test database, which is located at a particular IP address, to a client or any number of clients' remote IP addresses. So what I did need was to be able to have a quick way to update that. So what I created here is a global. And what global basically does is that it will take whatever is in this area and apply it to any selected data sets. So let me just load one with a few more. So say, for example, I wanted to, and I'm using a very simple example right now. Say I wanted to change all table names to the word test. What I would do is I would select, say, all, as I'm saying all, or any number of them I would select. I would come into global, and I would basically, and this is just I could have created a blank colon. I created an empty one. Of course, it doesn't quite work because I did not, hold on, create an empty. And I would say, what was it I was changing again? I would say table name equal test, as I'm using this example. And what I would then do is I would just simply take note of, make sure everything is selected, because here shows you what is selected, and say update selected, and datasets updated notification comes up. And once I reload this, sorry, there you go. You can see it's there. Sorry, yeah. So you can see all of the table name values have been updated to the word, to test. All right. So say, for example, there was a value in here that did not already exist. This is just an example to show you how it works. I can also say, not that it applies, but say I wanted to add something that is a new requirement in this particular engine type, that in a future version, say Elevate add something new. So I'll say the new section value, because this is basically what it's called. And I'll say X, Y, Z, whatever it may be. So it's a new value. What it will then do is, for all of these, I can say, if the section is not found, add it. So I'll check this off and just simply add it like that. And when I come back in here, you can see it has added it to all of the selected. All right. So again, it's just a quick way to manage the whole process, and it frees up a lot of time and effort. What I can then do, of course, what you can do is, to save me doing this over and over, it can then be saved as a template file. All right. So I will ensure that that's working when I get it. What did I do? Maybe I took something out for the demo. Okay. To manage your template, the basic templates that you create at this point here, and for here, you could go into settings and make your changes. So Anything that you put in here will then appear automatically when you create a new template. All right, so those are the basics. And there's a quick help file. So just a quick help file I created here. And that's it. So I hope this does help with the whole data sets management within Elevate Web Builder until they get around to put it in something within the system. This is what I use to manage it, and it has helped me quite a bit. So I'm sharing it with the community. So hopefully it will help others. Again, really the idea is to create it in projects and take it out and load it into Elevate Web Builder IDE as well as Elevate Web Builder server as needed. Okay, and as everything goes, what I tend to do is I make sure I do a backup, just save it as something else first, just to make sure that I don't lose anything. And of course, you do a backup of your backups. And I think most of us have had an experience that has taught us that lesson. Okay, all right, thank you. I hope this helps. Bye-bye.